In this lecture, we are going to draw the orthographic views of this three-dimensional part that's shown here. In order to help you visualize this part, I have drawn it here in 3 dimensions in SolidWorks. Here. So I'm just gonna orbit this part so that you have a better idea of how it looks like. The first question that a student might ask would be, where is the front view? Some people prefer to see, let's say, this view as the front, while others might prefer to see this view or regard this view as the front, which is fine. Or, let's say, some people might prefer to start from this view as being the front view of this part. All of these views would work, and it would be okay. If you choose the front, say, to be here, then all the other views we're going to follow from the front. So if this is the front, then the right view or the left view, let's say, would be this one. And again, saying that this is the front, then the top view would be this view. So it's totally a matter of just freedom and choice of where the front is. So in my case, I'm gonna select this view to be the front view, and I'm gonna have to draw it in 2 dimensions just as I'm seeing it here. However, in your case and in the exams in this course, you do not get this one here. You do not get the 3-dimensional model. All you get, the given, would be this one, and I would ask you to draw the front view and the top view and the side view. So you need to imagine all of the things that I'm doing here in SolidWorks. These you have to imagine them in your brains. Okay, so the front, that's what you need to imagine. You need to imagine that you are standing here and you are looking from this angle at this part. And what do you see from the front side? So that's what we will see. But now we're going to draw it manually using SolidWorks Sketcher, okay, in a drawing, and in what we call a SolidWorks drawing. In order to do that, I'm going to go to New, here, Drawing. I'm going to choose the paper size that I would like to create my drawing on. Here we have the American Standard papers, the ABCDE papers. A is the smallest, E is the biggest in the American Standard, whereas in the European Standard papers, the ISO, you have the A0, which is the largest, and the A4, which is smaller. A4, you have A3, A2, A1. The A3 is double the size of the A4, A2 is double the A3, A1 is double the A2, A0 is double the A1 in size. Here they write for you the size of the paper, the width and the height in millimeters. So for today, I'm going to choose, let's say, an A3 paper that's oriented in the landscape orientation. And I'm going to say OK here. Okay, first thing I need to do before I start drawing would be I need to get my mouse cursor to this position here at the lower right corner of your screen and select my units. So I'm going to draw in millimeters for today. So I select here millimeters, gram second. Now, going back to here, if I am looking at this part from this side, what would I see? Of course, the first thing I would see would be this area here, okay? And I need to draw this in 2 dimensions manually using the drawing sketching commands that are here in SolidWorks. And let me show you, and the ribbon and the main ribbon, you have drawing, annotations, and sketch. So you get them here. So I'm going to start by drawing, as I said, this area here. And how do I do that? I'm going to start by drawing this rectangle here, which has the dimensions of, let me check, 35. This is 35 plus 15. So this is 50. And this dimension would be 40 and 40, which is 80. So I'm going to start by drawing a rectangle that's 80 by 35. In order to do that on SolidWorks, I click on corner rectangle here. I start drawing. Where should I start draw here? I can start drawing anywhere. However, if I'm planning to place the front view here and the top view here and the side view here, then this point here would occupy basically the lower left corner of the drawing area on my paper, kind of somewhere here. So I'm going to click here and start drawing my rectangle. I'm going to input the dimensions directly, and they are 50 millimeters, tab by 80 millimeters. And that's the rectangle that I have. Here it is. Now I can position these dimensions wherever I want by clicking and dragging them. Okay. Now I have a fillet radius here and here, and that fillet radius is 15 in radius. Okay, so let's do that. There's this tool here which is sketch fillet. So I click on it, I click on the first line, I click on the second line, and here I enter the radius, and it has to be 15 millimeters. So 15, and that's it. I'm happy with it. I click on this OK here, and now to the other side, the fillet command is still sticking with its 15 radius. I just need to select this line, and that's it. Okay, so I'm done with the fillet. You would notice here that SolidWorks did not trim the corners when the fillet was made. In order to solve this, we can simply delete these. I'm going to click and hold, and then I'm going to move my mouse and to select the lines that SolidWorks did not trim. So I'm going to do that and delete it. I can insert later the dimension that was removed. Okay, so let me do that. So I come to smart dimension from here till here, and it was 50 units. Okay. By the way, why did SolidWorks not trim the corner? It's because when I did the fillet here using this command, I had this checked here, which was keep constrained corners. Had I unchecked it, SolidWorks would have produced them right away as trimmed corners that are cleaned like this. Let me for now keep it unchecked, because most of the times that's what I need. I'm going to close this fillet because I'm not doing a fillet right now. This one, let me move it a bit. Okay, so that's the drawing till now. Now, coming back here, I have this shape, which is a hole, okay, inside of it. And it is, I'm going to start by drawing a rectangle that's this much, which is what? It is 50 by 50. I'm not going to draw the arcs here. I'm going to draw them later. But I'm going to start with this rectangle. It goes something like this. Okay. And it is 50 by 15. Since here it says it's 15 diameter. So 50 by 15. So in order to do that, I come here, I select rectangle. I draw a rectangle simply anywhere inside of this. I give it its dimensions, which are 15 in the height, tab. Then I go to the horizontal span, which is 50. So this is the rectangle. Now, where is this rectangle positioned? The position of this rectangle. Let's check it here. It's 15 units here from the bottom horizontal line, meaning I need to place a dimension here. I come to smart dimension, click on the first line, click on the second line, and insert here a dimension which has a value of 15. How is it positioned horizontally? It's in the middle. So in the middle, if this line here, the tall line is 80, and this is 50, which means that from this point here till this edge here, you would have a distance of 15. Because 15 from this side plus 15 from this side is 30, plus 50, that would give you the 80 that you need. So here I'm going to place a dimension from this side to this side, and this has to be 15 so that the hole is in the middle horizontally. Now I need to draw, by the way, these dimensions, if they are bothering you, you can simply move them as you wish and take them to better positions. For now, let me continue. So here I have an arc. Okay, I'm going to draw it using two ways. First method is I'm going to draw a circle, then trim that circle. So here, circle. I'm going to select the midpoint here, click. Then I'm going to click on the end point here so that a circle is defined. Then I'm going to get the trim entities, and I'm going to draw, I'm going to choose here power trim. Power trim. I'm going to draw it like this by clicking and holding the mouse and simply moving it. Anything that this touches is going to get removed. The other method by which I'm going to draw the arc would be using the arc. Here, center point arc. I click first of all on the center point, which is this. Then I click on one of the endpoints, and I start moving my mouse till I reach the other endpoint, which is here. And now what I need to do is I need to erase this line. I click on it and press delete on the keyboard, and it gets erased. And that's the shape that I have here. Now, here, what else do I see looking from the front? From here, of course, the biggest thing, let's say, that I will be able, I wouldn't be able to see this surface here from the front. Of course not. However, I will be able to see this cylindrical face here, and I would be able to see all of this section here. So I'm going to draw the biggest one of these two, which is this thing here. In order to do that, I'm going to first start by drawing this rectangle. And its dimensions are 40 in height and 80, which is 40 plus 40, in width. So let me do that here. So I'm going to come here to the corner rectangle. I'm going to click on this corner point, and I'm going to enter the dimensions simply, which are 40 for the vertical span, tab, and then 80. And that would create this rectangle that I've drawn here in red. Now I have this arc. Let me draw it using the arc command, which is here. Center point arc. I click on the midpoint here for the center of the arc. I go towards one of the endpoints, and then I start moving my mouse till I reach the other endpoint, and I click there. So that's the arc that I have. I need to delete this line. I simply click on it, press delete on the keyboard, and it's gone. Now I still have these two small circles here that are holes, this one and this one. So let me start by drawing the first one. Its diameter is 20, and it's positioned at 20 units from this edge to the center, and 20 units from this edge to the center. So 20 by 20 position. Okay, so all the numbers are 20. Great. Let's do that. I'm going to select circle here. I'm simply going to draw it anywhere. Then I'm going to dimension it. Smart dimension. Click on the circle itself. And the diameter is 20. Now position. Click on this line. Click on the circle. SolidWorks will produce a dimension that's from this line to the center of the circle. And this one must be, as we said, 20 units. Okay, so that's it. And the other the position is from the circle to this line here. And this gives you the horizontal dimensioning, which is 20 units. Okay, good. Now the other circle, there I can draw it again using the same procedure. However, let me show you another way of how to draw it. What is this? Let me close this. Okay. Let me show you another way of drawing it. So here, guys, I'm going to select a center line from line here, from the line button. There's this arrow here that's pointing downwards. If I click on this arrow, there's the center line, okay, which I can use. Or I can draw a line, and I'll show you how later I make it for construction. Either way would do. Let's take something new here, center line. I'm gonna go to this point here, click, and I'm gonna go to this point here. Now, this line here that I've drawn, I'm gonna press escape, click on this line again. If I go to the line properties here, once I click on it, I get the line properties dialog here. And here, I can see that it is here, the options for the lines is for construction. I can make it infinite length also, which would be okay in my case. However, for now, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep it finite length, but I'm going to keep it for construction. Had it not been for construction, then I would have to dimension it, or I would have to give it relations where it is. But now, no, I don't need to give it any relation or dimension. Okay, I'm not obliged to. However, it is here. Of course, it has two relations, which are, it's coincident here on the midpoint and on the midpoint. Now, this line will be the mirror line, and this is the object that I want to mirror. The easiest way in SolidWorks to create a mirror would be to pre-pick the entities. I'm going to click on this circle. I'm going to press Control on the keyboard, and I'm going to hold it. And I'm going to click on this line. So I clicked here, Control on the keyboard, and clicked here. Here, if you look, you would see that I have selected two entities, which are the arc and the line. Now, when I do that, I'm going to click here on Mirror Entities. And automatically, SolidWorks will create the mirror image of this circle. I can keep this line. It's only used for construction. It's not a physical line on my drawing. Okay. Then, now, let us go on. This 80 dimension is bothering me. Let me take it down. And let me place this also downwards. All of the dimensions, all of the numbers here should be outside the border of the drawing. This is a standard in engineering. Now, I'm done with this here. Okay. Let me start drawing this cylindrical shape here. This cylinder, when viewed sideways, will look as a rectangle. And that rectangle would be this much. Having the dimensions of 40 horizontal. This one is 40. Okay, which is the greatest diameter here, is 40 units like this. And for the height of it, which is this one, it's 20 as shown here. And it's positioned in the middle. I know that because this is 40 and this is 40. So it's positioned in the middle. However, it's positioned at 45 units from this line to the center in that direction. However, this direction, this 45, it doesn't appear when I'm looking at the front, from the front view. So if I'm looking from the front here, I cannot see this 45. I can see the 40 and the 40 here. They would appear, but I cannot see the 45. So for me, I need to place it here in the middle. One more thing. Okay, no, that's it. Okay. So this line here, this line is this line. Okay. So as you can see, part of the cylinder is going to obscure, these two holes here, which is true. And now we're going to see that. If I look at the three-dimensional model that I've drawn in SolidWorks here, as you can see, this is the cylinder, the cylindrical shape is here, and it's obscuring a part of these two holes. Okay, so let's draw that. As I was saying, we need to draw here a rectangle that's 40 units by 20 units of height. So I'm gonna come here, rectangle. I'm gonna it's a corner rectangle, so the first corner point should be stuck on this line. So I'm gonna click on this line, and I'm gonna click somewhere. I'm not gonna click. Let me just directly enter the dimensions, which are 20 units in height, tab, and then the width would be 40 units. Okay. Now there's something that happened here, which is what? Since I've clicked here, this point, and it was almost on the center of the circle, very close to it, SolidWorks had snapped this rectangle to the center of the circle. Now here I'm not sure if that's the case or not. However, just to make sure, I'm going to undo the drawing of this rectangle by pressing Ctrl Z, and I'm going to draw the rectangle again, making it very general. I don't want it to get stuck on the center point of any of these circles, because I'm not sure if it's going to end up being stuck there or not. So I'm going to input again the height, which is 20 units. This, of course, it takes it to the level of the centers, and the width, which is 50. Okay, so as you can see, this time SolidWorks did not stick the corner points to the center points because I moved away from them. Now, how do I position this rectangle? By using dimensions, which are what? Here, if I want to dimension the center of this cylinder, which is the midpoint here, to this edge, it must be 40. 40 from the center of the cylinder, which is the midpoint of this line here, to this edge. It might end up being aligned with the center points of these two circles, but I'm gonna leave SolidWorks to do it if that's the case. So I'm gonna say Smart Dimension from the midpoint here, click to this edge here, and this must be 40 as we said. Uh, 40 units, yeah. This is 40 units, okay. Let me check the three-dimensional model that I have. So I think it is at the center here, since this is 80 and this goes 20. Yeah, it must be aligned with the center points. It is. So here what happened is this is not 50, sorry, this is 40. That's my mistake here. The width of the rectangle. And now here it is. It's aligned with the centers of these two circles. However, it wasn't a necessity. See, it wasn't necessarily to be aligned. I just input the numbers, and here it is. It turned out to be aligned with the center. I mean, this corner point is aligned with the center of the circle, and also here. In any case, this is the front view. Now, I still need to move this dimension to the outside border. Is this inside? Yeah, so move it to the outside. Now here, these dimensions have went outside of the drawing area of the paper. What I can do is that I can select all my drawing and simply press on the arrows. Move it with the arrows to the right. Something like this. Okay, you can always make these dimensions more neat, okay, by moving them. Okay, but I'm gonna leave you to do that yourself. I'm not gonna waste time here doing that thing. Let's say I'm gonna put this here. Okay, so all of this you can do it to make it look nicer, and you should in an engineering drawing. But here now, I'm not gonna waste time doing something that's very, very easy, such as this. Okay, so this is the front view. However, we didn't include the hidden edges. What are hidden edges? Hidden edges are edges that exist but are obscured by other objects that get in the line and the sight line between the viewer and the part. Meaning here, when I look at this part, I have this hole here, this cylindrical hole here that's hidden. If I'm looking from the front, I do not recognize that there is a hole here. So in order to represent that hole and to differentiate this part or this cylinder, to differentiate it from a from a similar part that has no hole here of diameter 30 units, we need to represent that hole being existing there, but we cannot see it from the front view. And in order to do that, at the end, this hole is a cylinder, and when you look at the cylinder from the side, it appears as a rectangle. Same thing as this rectangle here, the bigger rectangle of the two, which had 40 units of width and 20 units, and it was a rectangle. So the hole will appear also as a rectangle, but with these dimensions: 30 units of width and 20 units of height. It doesn't appear, but it would be a hidden object. All of these lines are hidden lines that have these dimensions: 30 of width and 20 of height. So it's simply another rectangle that's here, like this, as I said, of 30 units by 20 units. Now, this rectangle that I want to draw will actually only appear as two vertical lines. And why is that? Because here I already have a visible line, a complete and continuous line, okay, which will come above the hidden line. And therefore here I just have to draw two lines if you wish. So I'm gonna go in SolidWorks, line from here to here, and another line from here to here. It has to be vertical. Okay, now what is the position of this line horizontally? It has to have this much here. See, this much, which is what? Which is 5. It has to be at a distance of 5 from this line. So here I can create a dimension from this line to this line and put it equal to 5. Okay, and similarly here 5. Now, these two edges are not visible from the front. However, they exist as hidden edges, meaning they are there, but I cannot simply see them because they are obscured. There's material that's hiding them from me. So, in order to represent that thing that they are hidden, I need to create what we call the hidden lines, the dashed lines. In order to do that in SolidWorks, you have to go to layers. So simply, I'm going to right click anywhere, go to change layer. I get this dialog here to check what layers do I have. This is similar to what we said in AutoCAD. Several papers or pages that are all transparent, and you can work on any one of these papers. So here, now, currently I have only the layer called Format. Now, if I click here on this button, it says Layer Properties. So I'm going to repeat again, how did I reach this point? I right-click anywhere on the paper, I go to Change Layer, and I click on Layer Properties. Now, similar to what we saw in AutoCAD, here I have all the layers that are currently in SolidWorks. Currently I have only one layer named Format. I can create a new layer by clicking here. New. Now we have layer 1. Let me call this layer, let's say, Hidden Objects or Hidden for now. Fine. This layer, which is the hidden lines, I'm going to put all of the hidden edges in it. It has to have a dashed line type. How do you change that? Here you see style. This is the line style in SolidWorks. It can be continuous, it can be dashed. If you click here in this position, by the way, this is the color of it. Okay, so I'm going to click here and I'm going to say I want it to be dashed. Dashed line type is the line type that we use for hidden objects. By the way, center is the one that we use whenever we have circles. Okay. Phantom, I use it, we'll see it later, in auxiliary views, for example, or in section lines. Things that we're going to see later. For now, I'm going to select dashed. So if you see here, this line style is now dashed. Okay, the color you can change it from here. If you want to match it to what SolidWorks is drawing currently, which are blue, a shade of blue, which is this one. So I'm going to say okay, and that's it basically. So I'm going to say okay here. Now this line and this line have to be moved to the layer which is named hidden, so that they have a dashed line type or line style. So I'm going to click on this line and come to the line properties here. Here the layers, here the option, the layers, we didn't put it in any layer. I can select from here hidden. As you can see, directly it becomes of the dashed line type. I click on the line, come here for options, layers here, none, currently it doesn't have an assigned layer. I place it in hidden. Okay, good. Now, what else do I have hidden here is this part of the circle and this part of the circle, which are obscured by this big rectangular shape here. Okay, coming back to the three-dimensional part or model, let me see it. So here, that's what I was saying. So this circle here is not complete. Looking at it from the front, there's a section here that's hidden and obscured, similarly here, and we need to draw that. We need to indicate it by continuing this circle as dashed lines or a dashed arc. So let's do that. So here, first of all, I need to trim this circle to remove this arc. Okay, so I'm gonna trim. I'm going to remove this section and this section. Also this section and this section. These are hidden. That's what I would really see with my own eyes. That's the shape that I would see. However, in engineering drawing, as I was saying, we always represent hidden edges that exist here, that in this edge. It surely exists, but I cannot see it. There's something that's standing between my eyes and that thing here, which is the cylinder. So here, you need to simply draw an arc, and you need to make it a dashed arc. Okay, so I'm gonna here draw it by going to center point arc. I'm gonna click on the center point. I'm gonna click on one of the starting points, which could be this one. And I'm gonna move my cursor like this. Now here, you would see that SolidWorks is simply drawing the opposite arc. It's drawing it from the opposite direction. In order to solve that, I need to rotate my mouse several times, and it would work. Okay, so I wanted to draw this. So I rotated my mouse till SolidWorks started to draw starting from here. Okay, I clicked here by accident. Okay, fine. I can click, oh no, undo, Control Z. I'm gonna draw it again. Arc, center point arc, start from here. I click here to start from here. It's drawing the opposite arc. I rotate my mouse. Did you see how? To show SolidWorks that I want to start from the other side. So I rotate. It's not taking it this time. Yeah, it is. Okay, it did. Let me rotate. Okay. So here, guys, you just rotate, and then SolidWorks would start drawing it from that. If it doesn't, we can always repeat again. Okay, so here it is. So now I want to draw this arc until it reaches this position here. So I need to click on this point here. Okay. Oh, I didn't click. Center point. Start from here. Okay, fine. Rotate and end it here. Okay. And here it is. It is dashed. Why? Because it is the last thing that I've done. I put this line in the layer hidden, and the current layer is the layer hidden. How would I know that? If I right click and I go to change layer, I go to the layer properties, I would see this arrow here, meaning that the current layer is the hidden layer. I can change that to say another layer, let's say visible. These we're gonna do them in this course. We would have the visible edges, we would have the hidden edges, we would have, let's say, center lines, new center lines. Later on, we're gonna see others like phantom. Hidden must be dashed, visible lines must be continuous lines, center line layer must have here the center line. Where is here? Center. So we can simply change the current layer from here. Currently it's center lines. I can make it hidden. Okay. So I was saying the current layer is hidden. This has been drawn on the hidden. Here you can see it by clicking on it. You come here to the properties of this arc. You would see here that it is in the layer hidden. I can change it to none. None means the one that I was drawing, the layer that I was drawing on at the beginning, which is continuous. But here, of course, I'm going to click on it again and I'm going to put it in the hidden layer, which is what I want. Same thing I could do here. Again, let me show you how to draw it with arc, center point arc. I click here for the center point. I click here for the starting point. If SolidWorks draw it in the right direction, great. If it starts drawing on the other direction, like now, you need to just simply rotate your mouse like this until SolidWorks again starts to draw it in the correct orientation, which is here, what it is doing now. So I move it all the way to here and I click here, and this is it. and it is in the hidden layer and it is dashed. So this completes the front view with all the hidden features in it. I want you to practice drawing the front view of this part. You can pause the video to keep the dimensions or to have the dimensions. Here, in general, whenever we are given such parts, we would see an arrow. This arrow here, it means that this is the suggested front view. You can take the suggestion, or you may choose to omit that suggestion. Meaning, you can pick these surfaces here to be on the front view, or, for example, I would prefer to take this side here as the front view, in which I would see these surfaces. And this one here, the suggested one, which has these surfaces, I would take that to be the right side view. In any case, produce the front view as you would see it in this part.